Mention the name McRae in motorsport and a rally won't be far away. Jimmy McRae has long been a supporter and a previous winner of the Dunlop Otago Classic Rally. His youngest son, Alister, the retired WRC competitor, has also rallied here, but not in the Classic until now.
You do the World Championship, it's all very serious, and when you do it, you enjoy it, but it's a job and it's a business. You know, you get the chance to come and do these events. It's you still put the pressure on yourself, but it's just great fun.
Another high-profile driver returning to the Otago Classic is Ross Dunkerton in the newly acquired ex-Geoff Judd BDA Escort, and he thought he was in with a chance for a win with this car's pedigree until the Flying Scotsman entered.
Of course, this year they've got Alister McRae. They brought him over, and if anybody has seen that footage of him in the McRae stages in England, you know, he beat the world's best by about 3 or 4 minutes. So, you know, the world's best, I could be about 7 or 8 minutes behind him.
And the former Australian champion is not totally comfortable with the special requirements of the unfamiliar Ford.
These cars are quite difficult to drive because they rev out to about 9,000 revs, you know, and I'm used to a Triton Ute that does about 4,000 revs, so I've got to get my head around that.
From the south returns Derek Ayson in a brand new Mark II Escort, but looks can be deceptive. This is no factory BDA engine.
Yeah, something dodgy going on there. We changed the rock cover a little bit, so just to keep a few people guessing. Well, we did it initially ourselves and Robert McCallum, both did it at the same time, just because the classic rules are pre-1982, so the Nissan FJ20 is sort of fits into that criteria. And like classic rallying is great fun, and they're as competitive as the BDA engine, so that's sort of why we did it at a bit cheaper cost.
And what Ayson lacks in genuine Ford, Dean Buist has. He returns with his winning Ford BDA-powered Toyota Corolla to defend his title.
Our aim is to do what we did last year, see what Alister's pace is like. He'll be fast, which we know, and just try and keep ahead of the rest and see what happens.
Struggling to balance the Ford's domination once again is Waitangata's Duncan McCrosty in his trusty factory turbo Nissan Bluebird.
We've stuck with the old girl. Sometimes I question myself, but then I hear about the bills it costs to run an Escort, and I think this will be fine.
And McCrosty is not unhappy about the superior competition that is attracted here each year.
You just get stuck in your own rut. You're rallying against the same blokes year after year, and then you get someone like Alister along, or Pasi last year, etc. And it just shows you that you've got a long way to go.
Brad Goldsborough has been drawn across the ditch to his first Otago Classic after listening to dozens of Aussies rave about their experiences, and he's impressed with the roads after recce.
Yeah, they're pretty good actually. I think that's why everyone comes here. Obviously now it's quite a famous event, and now I know why. The roads are unbelievable, and I just can't wait to get into them.
Past winner of the Australian Rally Championship Premier category, Goldsborough is running the ever-popular Datsun 1600, albeit with a touch more grunt than the Japs originally intended, and perhaps the dark horse in the pack. By morning at the start, even more of the venerable Escorts are appearing, some with drivers who possibly weren't even born when these cars were at their height of international fame. More than 3 decades on, the attraction is still there.
We've learned a lot on how to drive these things. It was a bit of a learning curve coming out of a four-wheel drive car. You throw away everything you learnt driving a four-wheel drive car, and last year's learning. We did another event last year, and we sort of started to get away a bit quicker. So.
And the long rally starts amongst the tall pines of Whare Flat in the hills overlooking the Scottish capital of the south. The Southern Cross Hotel is official headquarters and start for the 13th annual Dunlop Otago Classic. Appropriately, guest of honour, Alister McRae, leading off for the start of the competition. McRae's approach is simple. Go hard from the start and catch everyone napping, and then sit back and watch them play catch-up.
5 left minus 4 to keep out. 50. Long 5 right. 6 left minus open.
With the plan in place, it's just a matter of execution, and there's no lack of that either. Richard Kelsey had hoped to exorcise the demons of last year by way of a sacrificial peace offering to the special stage where he and Rob Scott crashed last year.
So we bought some of our special Coromandel gravel out of my quarry in Coromandel and added it with a bit of lemon and pyro, because Rob's from Pyro, and did a small ceremony there on Ramrock Road, and hopefully we've got rid of the demons from that road.
But that stage is tomorrow, and it looks like today's stage is the problem.
Long 5 left.
got a problem. A couple of issues going on here that we're trying to sort. It's overheating a little bit and the fuel pressure problem, so we're just trying to get that sorted. Maybe lost a little bit in the first stage, but yep, we'll be going again.
From Australia, Stuart Lawless in another of the never-ending Ford Escorts has his own problems before he even begins.
We getting a bit warm?
It's getting a bit warm here, yeah.
Overheating while waiting in the queue to start Special Stage 1. But he's committed to start. After all, it's a long way to come to pull out now. Cameron Moore is out for the perfect weekend, hunting in the forest and fishing in the rivers. From the looks of it though, he'll be doing more fishing than hunting. Both he and co-driver Chris Nicholas are okay, but the boys' weekend, like the car, is prematurely terminated. The Toyota destined for the metal man.
Didn't even see this corner, just came in way too hot. Had no chance of making it round through the Ford and just tipped off the end and rolled it in the water.
Brad Goldsborough is closest to McRae after the 13k stage, 17 seconds behind the early pace setter, but just 2 seconds in front of Derek Ayson. The Australian slim advantage is surrendered though, very next stage, after overcooking one of dozens of blind crests in this rally.
Where we go? Got a 6 left, 100.
Local lad Tony Johnson has twice the engine capacity of most of his competition, but he's also got twice the weight. Manhandling the V8-powered Capri around twisting gravel roads is no walk in the park, but Johnston, driving without pace notes, knows what it takes.
Just trying too hard, and we're not on notes, so you got to back it in when you're driving blind.
And 200.
Keith and Marianne Callanan in, you guessed it, another Ford Escort, power down a road cut into the hillside of Special Stage 2, Akatore. Their record in the Dunlop Otago Classic weighted in favour of failure, and things aren't going their way this time either.
Plus a caution, left entry, right 3 long, that tightens to a 2 loop. This is your right 3 long, that tightens to a 2 loop. What happened then? We've broken a wheel or something.
It's lottery ticket time. Steering failure here could have been far worse.
Right 4 through humps, 80.
Dunkerton has been struggling to come to grips with his high-revving Escort, and a minor irritation with the gear stick means his day's not going as well as he'd like.
Right 3.5 long. Right 3.5 long here.
We lost the gear knob in there. It was a bit hard to sort of
4 long.
get gears.
You 2 right foot.
Or, as I would say, get it in, but that's the story of my life, eh?
Well, I think it's the way he's using it, isn't it? We certainly made sure it was on tight when he started.
Dunkerton's times keep him in the top 5. Not really where he'd like to be. By Special Stage 3, he sneaks in, 4th fastest through the short 6-kilometre Cole Gully stage, and ahead of McRae, who has an uncharacteristic moment, but his push-hard early plan is still on track.
You usually find they're all sleeping in the morning, so they gave it a good go in the first one, and then sort of backed off a little bit in the second one, but maybe a bit too much then in the third one. Probably sent it into the hairpin a bit too sideways and half spun, stalled the engine, so I'm sure your camera will be there. I think I waved at somebody.
Rob Wiley is 3rd through Stage 3, but must claw his way back from a disaster in Stage 1.
The radiator hose fell off, lost a lot of the time on that stage, and then yeah, so we're sort of coming to grips with it again.
Merv Hatcher puts in his best performance too, also suffering dramas in Stage 1.
We had a problem in the first stage with boost, but it's fixed itself, so we're back on the case.
Self-diagnosis?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good machine like that.
The surprise is Regan Ross, who beats some of the more fancied drivers to take the stage. Obviously coming to terms with the 2-wheel drive, not as much of an issue as he thought. By the famed Special Stage 4, Kuri Bush, Dean Buist has the BDA Corolla firing and powers through to record 3rd fastest time behind Ayson and McRae. The defending champion knew McRae would be difficult, but the farmer from the south might just have caught Dean Buist napping. From South Australia, Neville Wittenbury has brought his faithful old Datsun 180B back again to try his luck in the Dunlop Classic. He's dwarfed by the horsepower around him, but in Special Stage 4, horsepower is not his problem.
Got a flat tyre about the fourth corner in. Went to tip it into a left-hand bend, it just understeered. We tried our best to continue on, and then it just got to the point where I couldn't keep it in a straight line anymore, so we decided to pull over and change the wheel.
5 k's to go.
Up front, Alister McRae demonstrates just why he's the champion rally driver he is.
Over crest, over 30, 7 right minus, 5 left, over crest, 180, 6 right plus, 30.
Macintosh Road, the 8 kilometre stage from Brighton by Sea, is up over the coastal hills to Allenton on the Taieri Plains. Dean Buist, feeling the pressure from all quarters today, has been pushing harder than he might have, rolling off a slippery corner through the scenery within half a k of the start. Brad Goldsborough capitalises on Buist's misadventure and brings the hot Datsun home third quickest, albeit with the help of a last-minute and we suspect untried aero package. Keith Callanan, eager to get some runs on the board, has repaired the steering ball joint and rejoined for Special Stage 5. But Lady Luck has turned her back on the Queenslander for the second time today.
Any gear will do.
I've done a gearbox. It's got that gearbox smell and sound about it. The ball joint broke on the second stage, so I've got to tell you, I'm totally over it right now. Like, so much time and effort and preparation to do one stage is a little sad.
Derek Ayson, on the other hand, is far from sad. His brand new rally car delivering everything he could have expected.
Magic, absolute magic. Yeah, it's handling good, and just got to keep calm. And having a ball, that's great fun. Catching Alister is probably a little bit unrealistic, but that's amazing, really. So, and Dean, he must have went off in that last stage, so that's a bit of a shame because he was going quite good too. So.
Service for day one is again on the shores of Lake Waihola. But this year, not all the competition is on land. Jet skis rivaling the rally for noise, and definitely not as dry as the Dunlop Otago Classic. And it's on the shores of Lake Waihola we discover just why Stuart Lawless had overheating problems with his Escort earlier this morning.
Got a bit hot, but if someone hadn't put the radiator back on properly, mainly myself, we would have been right. And then ever since then, it's run very nice.
Geoff David from Sydney has been quietly working away in his Porsche 911, consistently moving up. Third fastest through the 13k Special Stage 6. A great achievement for his first shot at the Classic.
Yeah, it started out poorly. We dropped 3 cylinders on the first stage, so we only had one carburettor running as the throttle linkage came off. So that was about halfway through. But since then it's been fantastic, although I'm a bit of a girl when it comes to some of these crests.
You have to have big balls, but
You do. This is for a first timer. It's very interesting.
What a cracker of a stage! She's been putting the pressure on me. Keep asking me to speed up. Yeah, no, great stage. Yeah, lots of fun.
Like the crests and crest 100, crest 100.
You trust him on those crests?
I do. He's a great driver. Very sensible.
We've got a problem with the second gear that's jumping out, so you're having to hold it in second. And there's a lot of corners like that there that makes nothing's killing me now. But other than that, the car's going really well and enjoying it. It's good fun.
You got a bit of time up your sleeve to worry about holding it in second, though, haven't you?
Yeah, but you don't want to let anything too close. You could have a puncture.
McRae still wins on the last gravel stage of the day from Derek Ayson, with Brad Goldsborough home third. With just one super special tarmac stage remaining, this is how they will finish leg one.
I don't even know what's in the top 3. There you go. But we did pass a lot of cars on the side of the road, so that might help. But no, we didn't think we didn't know where to be, where to expect to be. So 3's great.
The last super special stage is like the mountain coming to Muhammad. No problem for the crowd catching all the action here. Thousands gather to watch drivers wrestle their cars round a couple of city blocks. Keith Callanan rejoins with a new gearbox, thanks to some quick work by his service crew, and has the dubious honour of completing just the first and last stages of the day. Dean Buist also rejoins, complete with new, fresh venting system on the Corolla and a ripple body effect that's unlikely to catch on. But it pays off, quickest on tarmac ahead of Geoff David. Richard Kelsey lifts his RX-7 up into third ahead of Duncan McCrosty and John Campbell, both using the dial-up horsepower of their turbos to elevate themselves into the top 6. Winning here is not about being fastest though. The crowd wants action and there are plenty of winners. Leg 1 is being led by Alister McRae from Derek Ayson and Brad Goldsborough. Geoff David is fourth in his first attempt at the Classic, just 6 seconds in front of Ross Dunkerton, who's hoping to rev up his campaign tomorrow. Sixth is Duncan McCrosty, a position he holds a mortgage over in this event annually, while Brent Rawstrom and Richard Kelsey round out the 8 quickest in the Dunlop Otago Classic for 2009. The serious and not so serious side of rallying is best illustrated by Derek Ayson and Dean Buist. The defending champion, quite pragmatic about the outcome of yesterday's competition that saw him crash out early.
Didn't damage anything, didn't bend anything, just a bit of panel. Well, there's nothing because you're out of the rally, but at the end of the day it's just trying to do some stage times and just have a good time really. Wear out some tyres I suppose.
On the other hand, Derek Ayson, sniffing a good finish this year, is very serious about his tyre choice.
The Dunlops I've been using have been working pretty good yesterday, so it's the first time we've used Dunlops, and today I think public roads shouldn't be too bad. Maybe stage through Berwick will be a little bit slippery, but we'll see how it goes.
With all the carnage of leg 1, we expect there to be plenty again today. But Alan Dippy's into it before the day gets underway.
Just a minor incident this morning. Backed into my wife's car in the drive, but we'll be right.
The MG BGT taillight is taped up and Dippy and his co-driver, Paul Coghill, will start without further incident. The rally moves up the main highway this morning for 2 special stages across the farming country of Lenthorne, from Waikawa on the coast inland through to Middlemarch. Richard Kelsey's sacrificial peace offering does the trick. The multicoloured RX-7 safely passed the 08 crash site.
Very happy. Rob and I had a little cheer at the end there. We made it through Ramrock, so really happy.
After fuel problems restricted his progress in leg 1, Kelsey is now happy with the car's performance.
The car's going great. Yeah, no, it's going really good.
McCrosty's chances of maintaining his posse around 5th or 6th could be in jeopardy. A penalty is likely for a mechanical infringement.
We're going to get stung with a penalty because we had a wee issue with an oil leak at the start of the stage.
Oh, really? Tell me what happened.
Oh, the sump plug fell out. Luckily it did it there and not further up the road.
Humour seems to be a great foil for failure in rallying, especially in these less serious classic events. Ross Dunkerton discovering the light about just how much accelerator is needed to get his BDA Escort off the line.
He has discovered the light and he's found what it does and how to use it, so there's a saying, isn't there, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Maybe you can.
This little light here, I revved it until that light came on and then I just dropped the clutch and it did get off the mark. We did slip off the road slightly at high speed. He's got a couple more grey hairs, eh?
Ironically, for every previous stage, Dunkerton has been bogging down on starts, unable to keep the engine revs high enough for the tall gearing of the BDA. But when the start of one special stage has a standing quarter-mile competition in place, and we suspect maybe the inducement of money, Ross Dunkerton suddenly finds form.
Go 100, right 5.5.
He beats everyone, even McRae, over the standing start quarter. Nothing like a little reward to inspire performance. UK expat Willie Rutherford has taken up residence in Akaroa recently and even returned to rallying again after a break of many years. More than a dab hand back in the UK, Rutherford was tempted back behind the wheel for last year's Silver Fern Marathon. But the transition to an unfamiliar rear-engine car has not been an easy one.
We had a bit of excitement yesterday. All part of learning to drive a Porsche quickly, and we had a fairly rapid excursion.
So how are you approaching today?
Just get stuck in with no intention of putting it off again. That's it's fine. Honestly, it's part of just learning to drive this particular car quickly, and you run that risk.
Tony Johnston's reputation for circle work in his VA Capri is becoming evident. Special stage 2 yesterday morning, and then the tarmac super stage in the afternoon. But this morning through special stage 9 and 10, turnaround Tony is being much more conservative.
I was actually very controlled. Didn't do a bad stage time and kept it straight. It swaps ends every now and then.
That was then, Tony. This is now. John Campbell's Mitsubishi Lancer EX Turbo looks pretty sleek from the outside, but on the inside of the engine, we suspect it's not so flash. Campbell's rally ending early.
Yeah, we had a problem with the turbo today, which is a mechanical issue. As I said before, the car is a new car. It's the very first event it's been on, and I guess we're going to shake down all the little things. But yeah, really learning to drive it. Different style to the Datsun we had, but very impressed. I think reported to me maybe 5th fastest around the streets on the tarmac yesterday afternoon. So the potential's there for better. Just got to get it going faster on the shingle, that's all.
Alister McRae is still quickest on every stage. One gets a sense of a man chasing down records set by the flying Finn Pasi Hagstrom in past years, rather than his immediate competition.
He's so relaxed, but he's quite keen on watching these stage records. I think he's got something going with Pasi Hagstrom, so...
For Aaron Kyle, the opportunity to sit alongside a master like McRae would be the envy of most.
I remember on the start line of shakedown, he looked across at me and he said, "You're going to enjoy this," and really am. But I think a lot of the time I've got my head down so much, trying to get it all right, that I probably miss the ride along the way.
But Aaron Kyle's ride of a lifetime won't last forever.
Flat crest 100.
Engine not sounding so good.
Easy left minus on crest opens 170.
What the hell's that? What's that, bollocks?
What was that, sorry?
The engine.
The engine's gone.
Derek Ayson can't believe his luck. No one could catch the Scotsman, and second place would have been a pretty good effort in his new Escort. But now McRae is sidelined with a broken conrod. The Classic is now Ayson's to lose. As McRae departs, Dean Buist steps up the pace and snatches the stage 13 win ahead of Brad Goldsborough and Geoff David, who is surprising himself in the 911 Porsche.
We've been matching times with Brad Goldsborough, so we're very comfortable with that. Everything sort of seems to be happening quite easily in the car, so, you know, touch wood, it's all going well, you know. We're just a couple of balding, middle-aged fat guys trying to keep it all together.
With one stage remaining, Goldsborough has a 1-minute lead over David, but he's not taking second place for granted.
I think we've got 50 cars in front of us, so I don't know if it's going to be really slippery or they're going to cut trenches for us and make it easier for us. So, yeah, that's the only thing I'll be worried about. Righto, mate. That's what it's all about.
Yep. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, we nearly didn't make it. Oh, we had a bit of a shocker at the start. We went wide and the car went up and I thought we had a flat and everything happened. I think the old nerves kicked in. Yeah, but now we come good in the end. It was great. Had a great run. It was brilliant.
Fellow Aussie Geoff David beats Goldsborough home for the final stage. His best placing all weekend and third outright, something any balding, middle-aged, part-time rally driver should be happy with.
Our expectations was a top 10 finish, and if we got into the top 5, we'd be very happy. So this is fantastic. It's outstanding.
But without doubt, the man of the moment is Derek Ayson. Quietly building his lead over the rest of the field, accepting the win was unlikely with a master like McRae at work. But his moment came, and the farmer, the southern man, embraced the lead and didn't look back in his typically understated way.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, car goes right, actually. Quite like it. Oh, it's cool. Awesome, yeah. Just no major problems, so it was good.
New Zealand might have lost the Super 14 rugby this year and might have been beaten by the French, but Derek Ayson and Greg Scott restore some Kiwi pride in the south, breaking the overseas domination at the Dunlop Otago Classic Rally. The first international home is Brad Goldsborough, 2.5 minutes behind the winner, but almost a minute ahead of fellow Australian Geoff David. Ross Dunkerton's first outing in his new Escort delivers him 4th, with the ever-consistent Duncan McCrosty and Brent Rawstrom 5th and 6th. Merv Hatcher completes his rally 10 minutes behind the leaders, but is rewarded with 7th, and Richard Kelsey is the last of the fastest 8 cars for 2009. So the international domination is broken in the Dunlop Otago Classic Rally. But surely not for long, given the attention this event attracts around the world.
I think it's probably the most prestigious classic rally in the Southern Hemisphere.